This episode of Unqualified is brought to you by McDonald's, proudly serving communities since 1965. On the drive to and from my parents' house in Washington State, we almost always stop at two particular McDonald's, one in Salem, Oregon, and another in Eureka, California. At the moment, we are in the parking lot of the Salem location, and I just finished a Big Mac and fries. Even though we are just passing through, I appreciate the familiarity and feeling of community. The other day, I was looking through my mother-in-law's photo album and came across a photo where she and her friends are standing in front of a McDonald's wearing their cheerleading uniforms. I usually call my mother-in-law New Mom, but her name is Marcia. Under the photo, Marcia had written a note, and I talked her into letting me read it here. San Bernardino, California. I have so many memories of this McDonald's over the years. My father took me there on what I think was opening day. What a thrill it was as a young girl to order a chocolate shake, hamburger, and French fries. Then there was the time when my cousin Hinda and I were given a tour and allowed to take dill pickles by the cupful out of a huge barrel. We must have eaten 100 pickles each. Everyone in my family knows the story of how I accidentally missed the ketchup container and dipped a fry into my milkshake. Now when I dip fries in my shake, it's on purpose. I remember when I was 12 years old, my mother and my cousin Noel Novak, Larry's brother, picked me up from dance class, and we went for dinner to celebrate Noel's graduation from high school. Years later, when I was in high school, we would go to McDonald's every Friday night after the football game. I wish you could see this photo. Marcia couldn't remember if they won the game that night, but everyone is smiling as if they did. Wherever your local McDonald's is, there's nothing better than that wonderful feeling of community. Well, maybe that feeling is tied with eating a Big Mac. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Hi, Anna.
Hi, Sam.
Nice to see you. Please have a seat. Have a seat. Make yourself comfortable. All right, well, we have to call Timothy Simons in a second because, well, you know what happened.
I know, and I feel like I really want to blame you, but I can't.
Oh, thank you for not blaming me. Dear listeners, what happened was we recorded an amazing episode with Timothy Simons, and the SD card in our recorder got corrupted or corrupt or however you pronounce it. What do you say? It was a corrupted card.
We suspect it was the Russians.
Yes, the Russians were behind our corrupted card. So we lost.
They're good, though, man. They're good. And they clearly have good taste.
So we lost the first half of our episode with one of the stars of Veep, Timothy Simons, who was just
who was amazing,
just
and
incredible.
It's sad, but I am grateful that this has only happened to us once.
But the good news is we only lost the first half. We for some reason it saved all the calls afterwards.
My head itches a little bit.
Did you hear what I just said?
Yes, I just got my hair done.
Your hair looks great,
as you witnessed, and sometimes it makes my head itch for a while.
Aw.
That's the price of the peroxide. The peroxide price.
Does it hurt?
No, it doesn't hurt. It just itches. So if you see me scratching my head, hopefully I don't have lice. Have you ever had lice?
I think when I was a kid, yeah.
You did?
Uh-huh. I think everyone in my school had lice.
Really?
Yeah. It was an epidemic.
Oh, it was an epidemic.
It was terrible. I hated that.
The Long Island lice.
Anyways, we
epidemic.
do have to call
Yes.
Timothy, but before we call him,
Yeah.
I do want to say, well, we have a message for our listeners, something that we needed to share with them for a while, which is exciting. Which
It's
is
really
very
exciting. Thanks to you guys and your loyal listenership, and we've been able to build our audience through you guys. We are at a point now where we are able to take on some sponsors, and we're going to be able to pay our hardworking staff.
They've been working tirelessly to bring you guys content.
My secret hope too is if we make some revenue off of this podcast that I love so much, that Sim will be able to afford a wedding.
And everyone's invited.
Everyone's invited.
All the listeners are invited. But yeah, no. But here's the thing. The truth is, it's not going to change the show at all. We're not going to take on that many ads, and we're only going to work with people that sponsors that we really believe in. Yeah.
So be patient with us as we're continuing to grow, and we love you guys, and we're just looking forward to an awesome year of podcasting.
You know what we can do right now? This could be like it's not really an ad. We do have to promote a couple of things that are happening right now for us, which is exciting.
Right.
The first thing is our next live show, which is a big one.
Do you know I worked at an ad agency?
I know.
In
That was
college?
your first job, wasn't it?
No, it was not my first job. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to put my ad hat on when I was a receptionist.
Well, that's great. Then this way, when we do our host read reads, they'll be exciting and funny.
Kind of my most favorite job.
You're going to be really good at this. Dear listeners, you're going to be in for a treat. You know what? Don't fast forward through the ads. Don't push that 15-second fast forward button.
I guarantee I'll piss off some sponsors along the way.
Hey, they'll last maybe an episode or two, and then we'll hopefully find somebody else. But we have a couple of things coming up. June 4th is our next live show. It is at Colossal Clusterfest, which is brought to you by Comedy Central and Superfly Events. I guess this is going to be
San Francisco.
San Francisco. This is going to be like, I guess they're kind of billing this as the Coachella of comedy. I don't know.
Sweet.
It's going to be crazy, but there's some great lineup.
Bring your feathers. Those Coachella girls are always fucking hot. The Coachella style is hot.
The feathers and
just the whole
the cowboy hat.
Yeah, don't you think? Anyway,
we should do a live show from Coachella.
That would be amazing.
Would you want to do that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Want a mister?
We can get some music acts on the show finally.
You and I will be sweating. Okay, but wait, we are June 4th.
Yeah, it's June 4th, Sunday, June 4th. But the whole festival is going to be amazing. I think Jerry Seinfeld is performing, Sarah Silverman, Bill Burr, Kevin Hart, Ice Cube. It's going to be an insane lineup. And we're going to be doing a live version of our podcast. And we also have a very special guest. Do you want to announce?
Do you want to announce
our special guest?
Yes, Hannibal Buress has.
Oh my God.
Is going to be our guest for the live show. I'm so fucking excited.
One of our dream guests for a long time.
I'm intimidated.
It's going to be amazing.
Thrilled.
Everything that comes out of his mouth is absolutely hysterical.
I know. So that should be a lot of fun.
Individual tickets are on sale right now at clusterfest.com. Please buy one. One other announcement.
I have a book. And the book is thanks to you guys, truly. It's coming out October 24th. You can pre-order it now on Amazon. It's called Anna Faris is Unqualified, or just Unqualified. I should probably know that part before I really start talking about it, but it's Unqualified. And really, it's this project is a culmination of kind of what I've learned by working on this podcast, my life. It's a memoir and it's an advice book, and we also have some amazing submissions by you guys included in the book. So I have you guys to thank forever and ever for helping me kind of find my voice with this.
The book is awesome.
Thanks.
It's great.
It really. I had been wanting to write a book for a long time, but I had no idea what to write about. My life seemed abnormal but kind of boring, and I'm 40, and it's like, well, who's gonna want to read a book about, I don't know, Scary Movie 3? Doing the podcast though really helped me sort of frame the idea that we all have these very similar relationship problems. They're universally relatable, and in the book I hope I really address a lot of my experiences and how they've formed my ridiculous opinions on everything.
And it's really, really funny.
Thanks, Sim.
And your husband wrote the foreword, which is also hysterical.
Yeah.
So that book comes out October 24th. You can pre-order on iBooks, Amazon, and anywhere else I guess books are sold.
Yes. And I'm signing a bunch of copies of it. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, you did. A lot. You told me you were going to be signing a lot.
I know. And I have the worst signature.
I have a
really childish signature.
Can you sign your paper right there? I want to see what it is. I don't think I remember.
It's really childish. My mom's always complaining about it.
That's not bad.
It's bad.
I modeled my signature after Jose Canseco because I was obsessed with him as a kid.
Yeah, all right. Let's take a look. See, I think mine indicates a total lack of caring.
This is completely slanted. The way Jose Canseco wrote his name was completely slanted.
That's good, and you did it really fast. You look like a man of importance, Sim Sarna.
This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by ZocDoc. Who gets excited about trying a new restaurant that has 2 out of 5 stars? When it comes to finding healthcare, don't ratings matter even more? ZocDoc is a free app where you can compare doctors, read reviews from real patients, and even make same-day appointments. When I finally called to reschedule my dentist appointment, I was told that my dentist had been retired for nearly 3 years. In my defense, parking was a nightmare. Through ZocDoc, I found a new dentist who had great reviews, took my insurance, and whose office was actually within walking distance. I was also able to book an appointment instantly without talking to a receptionist who made me feel guilty about not having my teeth cleaned for 3 years. My new dentist didn't make me feel guilty either, and only suggested I floss a little more often. Whether you need a primary care physician, dentist, dermatologist, psychiatrist, eye doctor, or other specialist, ZocDoc makes healthcare easy. Now is the time to prioritize your health. Go to ZocDoc.com/unqualified and download the ZocDoc app. Sign up for free and book a top-rated doctor who might be available as soon as today. That's ZocDoc.com/unqualified. This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by Warby Parker. Warby Parker was founded with a rebellious spirit and the lofty goal of creating boutique-quality eyewear at a revolutionary price point. Sunglasses, with or without a prescription, start at $95 and, just like eyeglasses, are available through their home try-on program. You just choose 5 pairs and see which ones you like. I was surprised by how quickly they arrived, which presented me with the immediate problem of deciding which ones to keep. I loved all of them, so you can guess what happened. And not only can you feel good about how cool you look, you can also feel good knowing that for every pair of glasses sold, Warby Parker distributes a pair of glasses to someone in need through partnerships with nonprofits like Vision Spring. Offering eyeglasses, sunglasses, contact lenses, and eye exams, Warby Parker is committed to providing exceptional vision care online and in stores. So put your FSA or HSA dollars to good use on Warby Parker prescription glasses, prescription sunglasses, contact lenses, and eye exams. Try Warby Parker's free home try-on program. Order 5 pairs of glasses to try at home for free for 5 days. There's no obligation to buy. Ships free and includes a prepaid return shipping label. Try 5 pairs of glasses at home for free at warbyparker.com/unqualified. That's warbyparker.com/unqualified. Okay, we're gonna
call Timothy right now.
Okay.
All right. Timothy's waiting for us. And Veep is in its 5th season, I think, right? Oh, we'll ask
It's
him.
so good.
Hello.
Timothy, it's Anna.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hi, Timothy.
I am so sorry that and thank you so much for taking time out to do this, to say hi to us. I'm so sorry about our technical problem. And it's only happened.
No problem.
But I just had the best time with you. You're so fucking wonderful, and thank you for coming back to say hi to us. Where are you now? Are you at home?
No, I'm in New York.
What are you doing there?
I'm doing the Colbert Show tomorrow.
Nice.
Wow.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I envision you in a large bathtub in a hotel. Are you in a large bathtub in a hotel?
You know, there is not a large bathtub here, but that general sense is what I've been doing. There is no large bathtub, but the attitude and the feelings that you would associate with that are exactly what I've been doing.
Do you like turn down service, or do you prefer to not have that when you're staying in a hotel?
I like turn down service, but most everything that I enjoy, I feel like there has to be a specific purpose behind it. So it's not the reason that I like turn down service, I think, is because I like the fact that thing gets put on your bed to not get the dirt from your shoes on the bedspread.
Yes, yeah.
But I like that they take that away in the evenings because you don't need it during the evenings. So I feel like with everything, like that's the reason that I enjoy the service, is because something of use is being used in the manner in which it was designed. Does that like, nothing gives me more joy than that, to see something being used for its express purpose and just being done correctly. I love that.
So do you like being in London? Because I was just in London, and, you know, I drink a lot of tea, and they always put a little spoon, a tiny little spoon. It's so civilized. And they always give me sugar, even though I don't use sugar. But anyway, I like those little things. I like those little touches.
Is the spoon there for you to, like, do the thing where you press the water out of the bag and then put the tea bag onto the spoon?
No, the spoon is a tiny spoon, I think, used just for sugar or for stirring milk, potentially. It's not large enough to, like, press to use. And I don't know if they like to do a little loose leaf. At least, you know, at those fancy schmancy places I've been hanging out at, you know. Don't even get me started on a crustless sandwich. My God. Gives me orgasm, practically.
I would never cut the crusts off my sandwiches myself, but if somebody else is going to cut the crusts off, I will. I'm there for it.
It's like a White Castle burger, those little sandwiches, because it's like everything melds into one, you know? It's like...
Oh, that's amazing.
There's no distinction between, like, the bread and the cream cheese and the whatever.
And the cream cheese and the cucumber that's in there.
Oh, I love our Hollywood lives. I love it.
Here's what's going to happen. I want you to get on a plane and fly to New York. I'm going to get on that same plane. You and I are going to fly to London, and we're going to go have some of those sandwiches.
Oh, my God.
Can I come, please?
Fuck no. No, this is just Timothy and myself. This is our fantasy, Sim.
All right.
Come on.
You can't just jump into this.
No, just kidding. It wouldn't be the same without you.
Oh, thank you.
When I was a kid, my mom, if we didn't go to restaurants very often at all, but on the rare occasion, my mom I would always instantly I would just eat the bread. I'm just like the garlic bread girl. That's a really boring story. And then, you know, you move to LA and people are like, no bread.
Right.
Like, no bread.
I know. Do you still eat garlic bread? Isn't that your favorite?
Garlic bread.
You love garlic bread.
I'm a garlic bread.
If any of our listeners have any great garlic bread recipes, you know, go ahead and email me them. Oh my God, I'm going to get like 300 garlic bread. I should never have said that.
It's going to be garlic and butter and bread and an oven. I'm going to go ahead and get some sort of combination of those four.
Hey, so Timothy, so you're going on Steven tomorrow. Will it be your first time doing that show?
It's my first time doing Colbert. The second time that I've done a late night show. The first time was a few years ago. I went on Letterman before he retired, and oddly, which was of course a both incredibly intimidating and nerve-wracking experience, but also an amazing one. He was the late night person that I watched growing up, and I think a lot of my humor and a lot of my sort of comedy sensibilities were kind of defined by him, and so that was a really amazing experience. But it was odd thinking, because it's the same stage, it's going to be the same dressing room, which I thought was weird, that I'm about to go in and have this brand new experience, but it's going to be in the exact same place. So I think that'll help nerves. The fact that, like, at least the physical space will feel familiar. So I'm hoping that helps with nerves.
Chris just did Steven. Listen to my Hollywood speak. But
you're holding a piece of garlic bread right now
with a tiny little knife. No, he said that Steven was just the nicest guy and was incredibly, like, welcoming, and he came back with some really nice shampoo and conditioner, which I immediately stole.
Wait, Chris came back with the shampoo and conditioner.
You know
Did that come from Steven?
Sometimes
Did Steven give him
he gave him like some he got a little gift bag. I hope now. What if you don't get shampoo and conditioner though? I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
set the bar right
there.
Oh
no.
Sorry. Maybe it was.
Oh no.
Maybe I bet I was not supposed to have that shampoo and conditioner. That was not
no matter what, I'm going to just, so like the next time I see you, even if I don't get the shampoo and conditioner, I just, to save face, I'm just going to be like, I definitely got that. I definitely was important enough that I got the nice shampoo. And I'm just going to do the thing where I let you give specifics about it, and then I'll agree. I'll do that.
So did you have like your pre-interview and all that jibbity jam?
I did.
Can you tell me what a pre-interview, what does a producer talk to you about usually? So they kind of formulate the entire bit or the whole conversation with you?
Well, it's very different for each show, wouldn't you say, Timothy?
These are my only experiences with it. Are those two? And so, and Anna, you could probably fill in more. It seems like they just kind of ask you to tell some stories, and they get a bunch of different stories about different things: your family, work on the show, work from and has anything funny happened to you recently? And then they like take that to the host, and they kind of work it down to the ones that they like and the ones that they think are funny.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So before you go on a talk show, a segment producer will call you a couple days before and go over like potential story ideas, ask you like about the current project you're working on. They'll sometimes look at your Twitter feed to see if you have any like relevant things there or whatever. And some shows are like Leno used to be incredibly regimented, and then some shows sort of use it as like a jumping off point.
Right.
And so anyway, it's different for each one. I'm not great at talk shows at all. I think I turn into a very weird version of myself.
No, I agree, Anna.
I know. Really, I'm a freak.
You really do turn into a very weird version of yourself.
I do.
No, I like the free form elements of it. I like things that can kind of go a little bit tangentially whenever and I don't know necessarily that Colbert is like this, but in any experience that I've had where I kind of have to like really stick to like, here is the funny story that makes me seem like a charming and normal person, I invariably will fuck that up.
It's so hard, especially if the host doesn't lead you in very well or in a very awkward way. Like, so, we heard that, you shit your pants on set. What was that like? And you're like, oh, yeah. Well, one day I shit my pants. Exactly. Okay.
Wait, did that really happen?
No, It didn't happen. Jeez. I don't normally shit my pants.
Have you ever?
I'm afraid to say that I may have, but I don't really want to get into it. I'm not there yet with you, Timothy, and I'm not sure I'm even there with my dear listeners who I feel like I can confess everything to. I still need some semblance of femininity.
I had a friend who shit his pants in college, and it just turned out that he was sick. Like nothing, like it wasn't. But the thing was, it was in public. It was at the the student union.
Oh no!
And his cover for it, and this is the thing that I actually love about him, is that he's one of these people that will not feel. I mean, even this somewhat shameful, somewhat embarrassing moment, he's not going to let that define him. He shat his pants and then immediately screamed, "Oh my God, I just shat my pants."
Oh, that's amazing. I love this dude.
Oh, you would absolutely love, there is just nothing. He does not care. It was just, this is where I am.
That is so brilliant, man. I wish I had that kind of confidence. I just
I do too.
I love that guy.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's great.
So when do you come back here? In a few days? And are you are you like doing more press for Veep, which is so fucking great, by the way?
We have like put some press things sort of, it was all sort of last minute, and so we kind of filled in a bunch of as many press things as we could. But like whenever I come out here, like with kids, it becomes all of a sudden much harder to travel. Like just for fun,
right? I know.
And so, so when I am able to come out to New York, like we did some exteriors for the show this year, and I came out a couple days early to see friends and to see shows, and just to kind of like, I came up through seeing, like, it came up through like the indie theater, and so like I really like coming back and seeing indie theater and like being a part of like a theater culture. Not that LA doesn't have it. It's just different than it is in Chicago or New York. It's just, it's a different animal in Los Angeles. And so, so I came out and have been filling in some press things, but have also been kind of leaving the nights open to catch up with friends that I'm not able to see as often as I would like. And that's been really nice.
That's awesome. Well, New York is so magical, especially this time of year.
Oh, yeah. And I don't know if you do this or if like you've noticed this, like, I wake up early and stay up late and eat and drink like a 22-year-old. And then 3 days in, my body wholesale rejects that. It is like, you are unable to do that. And like, when I leave New York, I find myself sprinting to the airport only because it means I'll be able to sleep on the plane.
Oh, yeah. Isn't it? Wait, is it the city that never sleeps? Yes. I was thinking, wait, is that Vegas? Is there a great song about Vegas? Oh, yeah, Viva Las Vegas. Nice.
And what about Sheryl Crow's Leaving Las Vegas?
Leaving Las Vegas might even be better.
Yeah.
Was that song written for the movie?
Good question. Nina,
I don't
you
know.
want to look that up?
Was it actually, was it even featured in the movie, or did we just put them together because of the titles?
Do you know that song, We Built This City on Rock and Roll?
Yes.
Timothy, you know that song?
Oh, I think it was voted the worst rock and roll song of all time.
Really?
However, it is one of my favorites.
I love it. I love that song.
It's a great song.
I love that song.
But apparently the city is San Francisco that they're talking about, which is so...
Really?
That's the rumor that I heard, which is wild to me, because if any city is built on rock and roll, it doesn't seem like San Francisco. Right?
It wouldn't be my first guess.
I know. I know. It's an odd one. Like, we built the city on rock. No. Maybe some other ones.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I mean, like, if somebody was like, oh, that song's about Des Moines, Iowa, I'd be like, oh, that makes sense more so than if they were like, we built, like, San Francisco.
Totally.
That seems like
I know.
Because
San Francisco.
Eating.
Right. I know. But, when you were growing up, what did you have a favorite? Because I remember that the reason why I thought about that song, though, is because that song, it hit me at probably came out when I was around 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And it had that physical feeling that you only get when you're a kid, or at least up until a certain age, where a song kind of makes you high. Like, you sort of buzz off of it. Like, ABBA songs used to do that to me when I was younger. I don't know. Can you, Timothy, can you think of a song that would make you
Jesse's Girl.
Oh, all right. That's a good one.
I like that one a lot.
I think, in thinking back to that period of time, I think about the stuff, that my sister is a few years older than me. And so she kind of got into music in that way that you like it when you're a teenager. She introduced me to a lot of stuff, and that's some music as rebellion, that idea. I watched my sister get that first, and of course, we were close enough in age that I didn't personally feel rebellious, but I liked seeing rebellion in her, so I kind of went along with it. And I remember that those songs that this was back when you had to call up the radio station and request a song, Highway to the Danger Zone was a big one.
Yes, yeah.
Great. Kenny Loggins, Top Gun soundtrack.
Yeah, I don't necessarily remember how it made me feel. I just remember that it was important to hear it. And Fight for Your Right, the BC Boys song, Fight for Your Right to Party, that was a big one in that period of time. But as I've gotten older and more cynical, it's harder to find those songs that do that.
Mm-hmm.
But
I know. It's an age thing. It's the same thing with love. Love doesn't necessarily give you that buzzed feeling that you experience in your adolescence, and
I just really thought of mine. Sorry. Here I Go Again by Whitesnake.
All right.
Continue.
Oh, because you were finding your independence.
Yes.
Sim's I'm breaking out of Long
Right.
Island. This shit's too small for me.
That's my story.
Here I go again on my own. I can totally see you with your Walkman on, walking down the sidewalk. Sam, dinner.
My old and cynical self thinks about, like, when I see movies that, like, at like the center thing is like people falling in love or whatever. Like, sometimes I'm watching that, and this is like the old cynical me being like, "That's what this fucking movie's about."
Oh, completely.
Right.
Like, that's
We're
it?
so it's a beautiful place to be so forgiving when you're young, of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, all movies felt pretty amazing until around the age, I don't know, maybe around 11. That was maybe when I started to get a little more cynical,
Yeah.
That was when like all the adults in my life were starting to disappoint me, There is a point in like as a woman is, well, as a girl is becoming a woman, around between like 11 and 14, when you're walking down the road and you really start to notice people looking at you, like looking at your ass, like, and checking you out. And it really starts to fuck with your head, and it starts to permeate in how you look at all men. And it's a tough, it's like really the wool is being pulled, wow, from your eyes. And that's a tough, I don't know, that's a tough transition. I can't imagine there's a guy's equivalent.
Not
you guys
for
are
me.
looking. You guys are doing the looking. Thanks,
Yes.
dicks.
No.
Timothy, Sim, you
No, I
can
really
suck
don't.
it.
I think it's important to remember those. Like, I think we definitely get caught up in our own experiences. And I think that certainly leads to like some, like I grew up in like a really small town, and that leads to enough sort of like naivete in and of itself. But like, then I think it's important to remind people of things like that, because it's like, it was like, oh my God, like that, you just realize like, holy shit, you've been living with that sort of thing since you were like 11 or 12 or 13. Like, that's a long time to have to deal with that, a very specific feeling that I've never felt, and frankly, have never even come close to. I'm sure that somebody along the line has checked me out. Like, I'm sure that that's happened. I can't recommend it, but I'm sure it's happened.
I checked you out. I took a long drink of you. But listen, so Timothy, we have to run here in a minute, but I do want to tell you, I'm just loving your storyline. I love Jonah Ryan so much.
Thanks.
It's exciting, what we sort of talked about, your character sort of exploring some love interests. I love that world with your character, and you're just so brilliant on the show, and the show is so fucking great. And
thank you. I really appreciate that. It's a fucking fantastic job, and I get to work with some really amazing people, and you kind of saw the beginnings of it. There's a woman, an actress named Mary Holland, who comes on next week. You kind of saw it a little bit in the preview. You get introduced in the preview for next week. When does this come out?
Next week.
But, I saw you go on the dates.
Yeah, it continues on from there. And so for the people, I'm going to give you, there'll be a slight spoiler for you guys, but it'll be old news for the people listening, that like Shawnee Tans ends up being there might be like the embers of a romance there.
Oh, awesome. I desperately want to see Jonah getting laid. Oh, I bet I can't even imagine him in bed. Well, I can. My image is a little jackrabbity.
Is that true, Timothy?
Is that how you would imagine Jonah as a lover?
I think ultimately, despite all of his flaws, which are
be very tender.
Plentiful, that I do think that he would be a somewhat, if misguided, lover.
Yes. Yeah, I could see that, because, he wants to be included. It's really endearing, when you want to be, you root for him. You want him, the episode where you guys are in Georgia, when you want to hang out with everybody and you get just sort of ditched, and it's very sweet, and that's a testament to your ability. And thank you. And please, if you're ever around and you would be so kind to come back, we would just love that.
I would absolutely love to. I had such a good time when I was sitting down with you guys in person, and I was happy to have to come to New York to do all this stuff. But I really like sitting across from you guys.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we love having you here.
And I just apologize so much for this.
Well, the good news is we do have the second part intact, which we're going to play right now. We have the advice portion that we have.
This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by Osea. Wondering what to gift your friends and family this holiday season? Female founded over 25 years ago by a mother and daughter team, Osea's award-winning cleansers, serums, face moisturizers, and body products give you the results you want. Skin that looks and feels amazing. I recently got to try Osea's new body butter, which, like their now famous Undaria algae body oil, transforms dry skin without being greasy, has the same incredible scent, and leaves your skin soft, smooth, and healthy looking. If my experience is any indication, you can count on your partner giving you a lot of compliments. This holiday season, stock up and share your new favorite clean skincare and body care with your friends and family. Unqualified listeners get 10% off your first order with promo code ANNA at OseaMalibu.com. You'll get free samples with every order, and orders over $50 get free shipping. Gifting is always easier if you start early, so head to OSEAMalibu.com. Use code ANNA. This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by State Farm, and in honor of their surprisingly great auto insurance rates, I'm going to tell you about a particularly surprising day on set. It takes me a long time to read a script. For almost every line of dialogue, I will stop to figure out why my character would say it, how it fits in the conversation, and how it's going to come out of my mouth. Between the lines, there are larger chunks of text which describe everything else happening in the scene. Maybe what a room looks like, what characters are wearing, and what they're doing. As I often underestimate how long everything in my life takes, I know I can make up some time by reading those larger chunks a little faster. I got the script for Overboard about 6 months before we started production. I read it in my warm living room, wearing comfortably warm clothes, sipping from a warm mug of tea. Somehow, it never occurred to me that when you jump off a boat in the middle of the ocean, the water is surprisingly cold. And it doesn't get any warmer on take 2. Here at Unqualified, we love State Farm because they provide coverage that meets your needs at a surprisingly great rate. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
Is there some incredibly awkward segue? Do you know the first line that's been like the first line spoken in the remaining audio? Like, is there a thing where we could like super awkwardly transition into it?
We could awkwardly get into it right now if you want, and I can just cut it in.
Yeah, what if I was just like, I'll just say something that sounds like it's going to lead into another thought. So I'll be like, like this will be it. Like,
I love it.
Okay. Anna, that's a really good point. And the other day, I was just thinking that. And we'll just start it there.
Okay, great.
Okay, wait, so let's start it again. Do it one more time, and this time we're going to go right to it.
Will you say, though, that was a brilliant point?
Yeah, oh, yes, no, of course.
Okay.
Of course. All right. Anna, that is a brilliant point. And because you bring that up, I was just thinking that...
This is cool.
Hello?
Hey, Megan.
Hi, Megan. Hi, Megan. It's Anna. I know. There's that boring old Sim. No, Sim is incredibly kind and sweet. I've been giving him a little shit today. But how are you? You're in Atlanta?
I am. I'm in Atlanta. Yep.
What part of Atlanta
I'm
are you
doing
in?
well.
Hi.
This is Timothy Simons from Veep, and he's amazing.
Hi, Mr. Simons.
Hi. How's it? Oh my God, Mr. Simons, I love you.
Sorry, I am a teacher. I'm used to calling people Mr. and Miss.
This is great already. My wife.
know.
What grade levels do you teach?
I teach high school. I teach English.
My wife is a high school teacher out here in LAUSD, so this is going great already.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no, high school is definitely, it's fun. A lot of people wouldn't revisit it, but I go there every day. So
Yeah. Yes.
that says something about me.
Was your high school experience damaging like mine was?
No, my high school experience, honestly, it wasn't too bad. I was just like a nobody, but in like a good way, like I was just doing my thing. I just kept my head down
relate to that.
and had fun. And
I think that there's an idea that like actors were really loud class clowns, but I feel like for the most part, the actors that I meet were kind of introverts in high school.
I was the class clown, but I was also the one that got picked on. Like I was a little bit of a punching bag, so I think that was the response to it. But yeah.
Did you use it as like a coping mechanism? Like you're like, oh, like if I make fun of stuff, they can't make fun of me.
Absolutely. Oh, do you have like a young Tim Simons in your school right now that you're picturing? Because it's exactly that.
No, I think I'm just familiar with archetypes. So it's, that seems to be the thing. No, but I mean, it's fun though. I do feel like when I look at my kids, I can just kind of like see I don't know, like who they're going to become. And sometimes it's scary, but most of the time it's really great.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's fun. I feel like I get them in a really tough time. I have juniors, so it's kind of the beginning of the college craze and like all that insanity, but it's a lot of fun. I really
wish you were my teacher.
Yeah.
She sounds like a really cool teacher.
I didn't have any like young inspirational teachers growing up. I had like
really old,
the grizzly old like Union jacks that were like
do whatever.
Yeah.
Do whatever.
The type that wear like the denim dresses that have like the like Apple appliques on them. Like
just do whatever, kids. It's all gonna be failure.
So Megan, you saw something recently on Tinder. Tell us what's going on.
Okay, so I had a friend of mine and we actually had a falling out in January and really haven't spoken since then. Previously in October, I helped coordinate her wedding. I did a lot of stuff with that. And so I got to know her family, her husband's family, the kind of the both sides and everything. But anyway, so yeah, in January we just kind of got into an argument and I decided, you know what, I don't really need this. And so we're going to part ways. So then earlier this week, I was on Tinder and I was swiping and one of the guys that came up, I just like stopped in my tracks. It was her husband's brother. So thank God it wasn't her husband, but it's somebody's husband. So her husband's brother was on there and I was just really shocked because his whole side of the family is very religious, very like, he doesn't even drink in front of his parents. Like, I guess his parents don't like alcohol. And so I just would not have thought that he would be on there. He is married, and he and his wife just had a baby in the end of October, beginning of November.
Well, what is this dude thinking?
Do you know how long they've been married?
They've been married for about 4 or 5 years.
So like before,
what the
can't...
fuck is wrong with this dude? Does he not know that people like? I feel like Megan, where you're going is like, should I be the messenger? Right.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And I don't know why he's not taking into consideration that you are probably like one of maybe 7, right? But like at least there are people out there if you're on Tinder that are going to see. I don't know. Sorry, Megan, I cut you off.
I know. Well, no. And that's kind of what, I mean, when I showed a couple friends of mine, they were like, is he stupid? Like, like there are people, like we're in this area, like they live in Atlanta. My friend and her husband live close to Atlanta, like we're all in the same area. And so, and And part of the reason it really irks me, honestly, is because they just had a baby. And to me, I'm like, oh, so she's good enough to bear your child, but she's not good enough to stick with, like, it just really ticks me off. Like,
yeah, no, there's a lot of reasons
really
that
bad.
as a woman that this scenario is horrible.
So what you want to know what you should do, right? Is should you get involved? Is that where you're coming from here?
Yeah, I'm just like, I feel so, like, I feel so betrayed, even though of course, I'm not even, part of it. But so, like, what do I do? Like, should I tell?
I feel like you've got to examine, because what I'm hearing in my unqualified Anna Faris way is that you're missing you're missing your friend. And I think that the entry back into this friendship, it won't be great with you with this information, if you're conveying.
Right.
So are you missing her? And like,
Anna, you're really good at finding the thing that's not the thing. You're good at finding the thing that's not the thing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm picking up my
But like most women, or men, like if you've had a relationship, like a friendship with somebody, and there's been something dramatic that's happened, you miss them. They're on your mind. They're lingering, and this feels like the avenue that you would want, that would be like kind of the most natural,
right.
neutral, but even though it's not, course of action to take to get back into this person's life. Was the falling out, like, I don't know if you want to go into too much detail about it, but was it mostly, was she mad at you about something that felt petty, and you were like, fuck this, you're high maintenance, I don't want you a part of my life anymore?
She was definitely high maintenance. But no, I don't really feel like I miss her. Like, I think about her a lot, but really, I really feel like our not being friends is for the best. She was one of those people who, like, when I was with, I was like, oh yeah, like, she's fine, like, it's just her, like, it's just her. It's just how she is. And then,
what a great thing to say about we were good friends. Yeah, she is fine.
But but this is like speaking.
Is this a thing?
Yeah,
okay.
Like, this is language for sure. Yes.
But, like, I guess, like, when I wasn't with her, like, I just realized how, like, she was very selfish and
good. These are the things,
like, visibly uncomfortable when the conversation was not centered around her. And I was just like, I'm a good friend. I know my worth as a friend, and I was worth more than, how she was treating me. So,
okay. So listen, I think that there's in general a big societal pressure that we sort of do to ourselves, and there's an expectation to be really great friends to people that we might not have all that much in common with. And if you're feeling better not necessarily being friends with this person, even though I understand the guilt, like, lingering, because your friend she needed you, especially if you're a part of her wedding planning, she needed you and may need you more than you need her in her life, but so I think that if you want to, they're two separate issues. If you want to be her friend again, and have her back in your life, then that's wonderful. But don't do it if you are getting feelings of like this person is a little bit of a burden, because life is only going to get way more complicated.
Yeah.
And you have to shed. It's natural to shed people. And as women, we don't always learn that, but it is like, it's very natural to kind of leave people behind as we grow.
My wife had an experience sort of like, she lost like sort of a really good friend in, I would say, somewhat similar circumstances. Like the person that she lost as a friend was somewhat self-destructive and very selfish, and always kind of saw things through there. But it was still hard for her. I feel like I've also had to be, I tend to be a little bit more black and white about things. My wife would say that I'm incredibly black and white about things.
That's so good, though, especially in this industry.
I've had to sort of like, and it's come up, and this probably happened at least 10 years ago that they've had a falling out. And I have had to, even since then, and even as recently as like the last year, be like, what was it that you were trying to get back? Because the friendship that you lost as it stood was not good. Even then, it was sort of a friendship of nostalgia.
Exactly. I think you're trying to get back peace of mind.
Yeah. I mean, the guy probably thinks he can get away with it because he's in a big city. I mean, if it was in a town of 1,000 people and he's on Tinder, then like that's really dumb.
This
But I mean,
is,
like,
this
I mean,
is
he probably
really playing with
thinks
fire. This is like an
definitely-
aggressive move to get
Yeah.
out of the marriage.
which like you don't want to be in.
You're gonna get
It's
caught.
shocking.
You're gonna get caught. You're gonna get caught, and you don't want to be
I
anywhere
want to know what
close.
did the picture look like? Was it vague? Was it profile of him? Was it?
Was that baby in the picture?
Do you know what I'm saying? Or was it like full frontal? Like how
Full dick? Was it full dick?
Okay. Oh, one of the pictures that he had on there was actually
multiple
from the
pictures.
maternity shoot.
Oh my god.
Oh no!
Oh, damn.
Oh, my God.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I'm actually.
Isn't that the most?
Yeah.
Isn't that such bullshit? Like,
I mean,
got
that's bullshit, but you got to
mad.
admire the gusto.
Do you? Yes.
Like, I was like, you're ballsy.
You need to
sir.
call
Like,
this dude
no.
direct and just.
Do
and
you
just be
have
like,
any relationship with his? Sorry, Tim. I totally
No, it's
fucking cut you
okay.
off. No.
This is kind of a joke, but I almost think you need to call the guy directly and just be like, man, like I'm making an anonymous phone call. Dude, I admire the fact that you were able to pull out one of your you did like the Facebook,
Yeah.
you did the Instagram crop out of your wife and baby, your wife and pregnant belly.
Seriously.
You can see like a quarter of her arm. That is the
Right.
ballsiest
Like,
shit.
it was ridiculous.
Is it like the only picture of him in a suit? Like I don't understand.
I looked through what his profile said because I was like, well, maybe he's like,
Did he list himself as single?
like bored in his marriage and they're looking for something to like spice it up. I don't know. You know how weird people get on Tinder.
No, absolutely, yeah.
Gross, or I mean, whatever, you live your life.
I
do
mean,
what
yeah, you
want.
don't know.
But,
You don't know what their circumstances are. Maybe that is something that they both have agreed upon to be cropped out. I'm not like I know that this is about a 1% chance, but like, yeah. I mean, I
It's
don't.
just, I mean, it would be
think-
interesting, like, like drinking in front of mom and dad, definite no. But like
Yeah.
threesome on Tinder, for sure. Like,
Yeah.
Tim, will you
I don't
ask me
know.
after having just given birth to your child if it's cool if you go on Tinder?
Well, how
just
old's
give
the
it a
baby?
whirl.
How old's the baby? What are we defining as just?
The baby is 2 months 1 week.
If the baby is 2 months and 1 week, I feel like that's when you start planting seeds.
Yeah, babe,
You don't ask
know what?
direct.
Yeah.
You're trying to get into a threesome at 9 months, so you start planting seeds at 2 months 1 week. I do feel like I think Anna has the right thing in that it's more about the friend. Like you want to be a long way away from the blast radius of that marriage. And
Right.
yeah, and really just examine whether or not
Well,
you want to be involved with that friend at all.
Are you at all? Do you have a relationship at all with this guy's wife, the mother?
not a whole lot. So,
Have they ever
I was with her.
propositioned you
She
for
was
a
at, like, the
threesome?
bachelorette weekend and stuff. So what I was thinking was, if I was going to say anything, the way that I was thinking I would go about it is to text like one of my friends who is in the same friend group that I was a part of with her, and be like, hey, like, this is a super random question, but like, do you know how are doing? Like, is there anything? Because like, it's possible that in the months that we haven't been talking, shit hit the fan,
I don't.
and maybe
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But then of course that leads to the question, like, yeah, they're fine. Why would you even ask that?
Yeah,
And then
it's
like,
still
just
it's still
kidding, I
all
don't
gonna like. There's
know.
no way to do it. It's still all gonna come back to you.
I think this is like really fun gossip that you can like talk with us about and your coworkers at school.
Yeah.
But I'm not quite sure because it is really juicy.
Yeah.
It's
This is
really
great.
funny.
Yeah, right?
Yes. But I'm not sure if you can do anything that will not ultimately reflect a little bit poorly on you
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
and that sucks. I wish I had a different answer for you, but
it's gonna come out.
No, you're not
I'm
wrong.
guaranteeing you, it's gonna come out. So she doesn't have to
but
do anything.
Exactly. So we want to protect.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Megan, in your best interest in protecting you, it'll totally come out, and it would be different too if this was your best friend or, but I think
Right.
But yeah, I do think like even examine whether or not like it's worth getting back into this person's life. Like
Right.
what did that person really bring into your world, and whether or
Right.
not that's being worth it.
Right.
You know?
You're just gonna open up something that you may not want to open up.
Yeah.
which is, maybe a friendship that you don't really want. So it's...
Is there anything to, though, if she knows this, is there anything to anyone coming back in her circle of friends and saying, like, why didn't you say anything? You knew?
She'll never get asked that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, especially, I mean, we don't really talk, so it's not like, I don't know.
I think this is one of those
I did
ones you watch
screenshot it, though.
You watch it like a
Yeah.
you watch it
Yeah.
like
You know something everyone else doesn't know, and you watch it unravel.
you watch it like a golden age of television show.
Celebrity like breakup or something.
Right.
Like you just
I just grab the popcorn and like
Yep.
let it go.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the 3rd episode of Dumb Dude on Tinder.
you are clinging on to some really, really juicy information, which is of value. I always joke with Sim that like we do this little bit where I get to tell him that Michael Jackson just died, and he has to pretend like he's never heard that I get to be the deliverer of that
Yeah.
big news.
It's a big deal to some people.
Yeah.
It's a huge
big deal to everybody. You admitted.
No, it's a big deal to me. It's a big deal to you. It
It's-
is.
No, but the context of what I'm saying is like being able to deliver a juicy bit of gossip, and it's even more
Right.
delicious if it's negative.
Right.
Sadly, like Brad and Angie broke up or whatever. Like you get to have the crown of being the first
Yeah.
person
Yeah.
to convey information. And I think it's probably in your best interest to resist maybe that impulse or that line of thinking a little bit, because you are too close to the matter. And I don't want your friend to have any more reason to fault you or feel pissed at you or whatever is going on with her. It sounds like you're a really good friend.
Right.
And I mean, you helped plan her wedding. Oh my God, that's way more than I would ever do.
Yeah.
I would never fucking do that shit. Don't ask me to plan your fucking wedding, Sim.
I'm not going to. But Megan, thank you so
okay,
much
you wanna
for.
hear-
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Thank you.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, so I planned her wedding, I did her makeup, I coordinated the catering, all this stuff, right? Her thank you gift to me was a mug with a bunch of mints in it.
What kind of mints?
And
Like
that
those little
was it.
chalky ones that you picked up with the spoon at the outside of a restaurant? Because
the
honestly,
mints-
I'm a
the
big
mints
fan
that,
of those.
Like, they give out at, like, the Chinese food, you know? Like
Honestly,
the,
that
those are
sounds like a
great.
fucking
With
killer
almonds.
gift to me.
Well, maybe,
No, you're right.
she-
Hashtag worth it.
it sounds like she might, I don't know, women have really complicated relationships with each other. That she may be a little jealous of you, or for whatever reason she may have a little if her actions indicate passive aggressiveness, it might be someone to avoid, especially when they're in a new time in their life.
Yeah.
Like they're recently married, might not be that happiest, who knows, maybe they're on cloud 9, I have no idea. But you know what I'm saying, that it's a pretty like uneven ground for her right now, so I don't even know if that would be a great timing in general. But yeah, and it sucks to have given more to a friendship than you get in return. It really does. And I've been both players on I think probably as we all have. But I think it's a good time in your late 20s to start to examine what people are going to bring to the table in your life and what you can give to them, and how you enrich yourself enrich. See, listen to me. I could be a high school teacher. I use words like enrich. I couldn't.
Good vocab.
I could never do what you do, Megan. What's the hardest school curriculum book that you have to teach? Like, do your students like kick and scream through To Kill a Mockingbird, or?
No, we actually didn't do To Kill a Mockingbird this year, which made me sad, but I think it was for the best. But probably The Crucible they really struggle with, because of it's a play, and so kind of reading the parts is it's not what they've typically read. And I also my students have learning disabilities, so I teach students with special needs.
Oh wow!
You are
you
are the
amazing.
best person
Yes.
that lives.
Megan, you deserve more than a mug of mints.
You deserve more. You deserve more than the chalky mints.
Yes.
Even though those are delicious.
Megan, thank you so much.
Megan, thank you.
So
I guess
much.
we're in kind of a rush today, but thank you, and I could talk to you for hours. I so admire what you do, and keep us posted. Let us know when this dude gets found
I
out.
will.
Yeah, send me an
Definitely
email as soon
let
as you
us know.
find
Yeah.
out.
Oh my gosh, I will.
Yeah.
I will. Thank you so much. I hope you'll have a wonderful day.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right,
You
see you
too.
later. I really want,
Bye.
like, when like when women are really pregnant, so much so that you can see like the arm pass like through the skin. I want that guy to have like, I want to be able to see like an arm cropped out, like in that picture, like so pregnant, that like the little arm even makes an appearance in that quarter cut off picture.
I get her point. I mean, I know that she can't be. I know we have to call the next person, but I get her point that she can't be the messenger, but truly that person's behavior is confounding.
It's ridiculous.
So
it's ridiculous.
I understand her plight a lot because it's so baffling.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, can you guys rationalize that? Or not
yeah,
really?
I can a little bit, maybe.
Okay.
This could be a scenario, and this is because this happened to my my brother-in-law and my sister, Saiba. So we were all drinking, and they were talking about how they missed out on the whole Tinder thing, and I said, you know what, Keith, to be fun, let's just see how you do. Why don't you go on Tinder right now? And my sister was sitting right there, and he put up a profile. It takes about 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, and he started swiping. About 2 hours later, Saiba, my sister, gets a text from one of her friends saying, "I saw Keith
Holy
on
shit.
Tinder."
Whoa,
dude!
Yeah, and it was. I mean, obviously we're all laughing. It's hilarious, but like I said, that's why I was telling her before. It's like he's gonna get caught.
I wouldn't.
He's gonna get caught.
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna get caught quick too. My God.
Damn. Yeah, because that is. Yeah.
Right.
We all
Right, unless it's a joke, unless it's a total joke,
Yeah,
unless
but
it's just
even
for fun.
then, it turns out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
People are gonna say someone's gonna say something. Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, we have one more call.
While it's dialing, there was a story that I heard one time about revealing big information. I heard the story one time that Karl Lagerfeld has to create designs in Euphoria, and so
Hello?
Oh, I'll tell you more
Hang on a
about that
second,
later.
Jane. Hi, Jane.
Hi, Jane. It's Sim.
Hi.
Sim, Anna, and Tim Simons from Veep. How
Hi,
are you?
How's it going?
I'm great. It's good to talk to you guys.
Nice to talk to you.
Yeah,
Jane,
thank you
so
for
much for hanging
talking.
out with us
Yes.
tonight. We don't have that much time. I have to apologize for that, first of all, but we are going to help you.
Oh, that's okay.
So tell us about the situation with your ex-boyfriend.
Sure. So my ex and I, we broke up last fall. We'd been together for about 2.5 years, and for like the 9 months at the end, it had been long distance. And he lives in D.C. I live in Florida now. I almost as soon as I broke up with him, I actually ended up meeting somebody else. Took me totally by surprise. And I've moved on like in a big way. I'm very much into my new boyfriend.
That's awesome.
But I'm supposed to be going to DC this weekend for an unrelated event. And in the months past, my ex and I, we'd been friendly. We'd talked a little bit about getting together for coffee or for lunch. And we'd kind of said that if we were ever in the same area, especially if I was in DC, that it was kind of like the expectation that we would meet up. But that was before kind of anything had really gotten serious with my new boyfriend. And I'm wondering if it would be weird to reach out to him, if I should kind of let it go, or if I should follow through and kind of ask him to meet up after all.
Oh boy, because I think this is really, really dangerous. I think that your ex is still clearly very much in love with you. And
Why? What makes you say that though?
Oh, because anytime a guy wants to meet up, has any interest in his ex, guys are simple, just like Sim has been trying to tell me for a long time. But
Let me ask you this: who broke up with who, or was it a mutual thing?
Actually, if you believe it or not, it was actually mutual. I know people don't really believe that, but this was about the most mutual breakup you could have, I think.
Okay.
It just kind of fizzled after a long time of being long distance. We were getting into a lot of fights and everything.
What are the things you miss about him, and what do you see out of a reunion in DC? Like, what would be the most ideal outcome of a reunion?
Just something kind of, I don't know, like just a casual kind of say hello, catch up kind of situation, because we never actually.
But I mean, I think maybe even continuing on from that, like do you feel like this is the kind of person that needs to be in your life moving forward, or would it just be kind of closure for both of you?
I would like to remain friends with him because, I mean, we knew each other for a long time, and I mean, he's a good person, definitely. But
lots of good people
I don't know
if
that's a good idea or not.
You guys, this is so cut and dry. Come on.
I mean,
Yeah.
Sim,
Come on.
I
The
think
hammer.
Seriously.
I
Sim's
think
coming in with a
that-
hammer.
I think that you have a really kind heart. I think that opening this door is dangerous. It threatens your current relationship. No matter which way you cut it, it does threaten it. Whether or not your current boyfriend is in on it, or not.
You're going to have to explain to him why you're getting together, and he might think, well, why? I mean, not that you owe him
whatever it
explanations,
is.
Yeah,
It's going to
Not worth the effort.
You're going to be paying a debt, either a small debt or a large debt to your current boyfriend by doing this. But so you just have to take that into consideration. I'm not saying don't meet up with him necessarily, but I'm just saying that who knows? Maybe your mindset is like, I want to break up with my current boyfriend and be back with my ex.
No, definitely not.
Then I think keep that in mind and really preserve. And because here's the thing: there's satisfaction in meeting up with your ex, because usually you're looking good or whatever, and it feels really good to get the idea of closure, which is something that I struggle with because I don't really believe in it. But I just think you have to kind of look at your own motivations really carefully and decide whether or not this is something that you want to even bruise the tiniest bit your current relationship with.
I will say also this, if this is the first time you're going to be in DC, it's fraught in that you're going to have to either prep him with the fact that you are seeing somebody else, and then that opens that. And if it was just this past fall, that's what, 6 months, maybe 9 months at most. It's still reasonably fresh. Maybe the best time to get together is the second time you go to DC, or the third time, so that really this is an old this is an old saying, that idea of the time healing all wounds or whatever. A year and a half from now, it's not going to be fraught in any way. You guys will both have actually moved on,
right?
So you won't need to do any of that. The expectation will be that there would be another guy, or that you're single, but this isn't going to lead to anything. Does that make sense?
And I think the practical
that's a good point.
Advice, Jane, though, too, is to communicate to him, your ex, all of these things. I want to honor and respect our history in the past that we had. I am curious about you. I will always care about you to some degree. But, and I'd love to say hello to you, but I want to make sure that we're, clear on what. Is it so lame?
No, it's not lame at all.
Anybody really do that?
I love that you have this sort of velvet touch, and this sort of that's I come at the opposite way, almost to just kind of ghost it.
Me too. No, it's so easy for me to say that, and I never fucking do that shit.
Yeah,
I'm I lost my phone.
From just full heart, full open heart. I think I would almost go the other way of eventually have that conversation, because
that's fair enough.
Maybe that's the conversation you have. I know, I'm sorry I didn't get in touch the last time I was here, but it was for these reasons. When you'll be able to talk about them a little bit easier, and he'll be able to listen to them a little bit easier.
And this is sort of, I don't know. It's one of these things, because we're all curious. We all want to know what our exes are up to. Yeah. We really do. You're not
we all go to our exes' Instagrams, and when we're doing better, we're fuck
why we go to our fucking reunions in high school. It's we all want to. We have a strong sense of curiosity that gets us into a lot of trouble in general. So I
don't know if ex-boyfriends and ex-girlfriends, I don't know if they're worth it.
Right.
It's also just fine if you guys just never talk again.
It's fine. It's completely okay, and that's what you should do.
Anna has this velvet touch, and Sim just comes in with a hammer of it's fine. You don't ever have to talk again.
No, that's what I need. I need a clear action plan.
The
non-action plan.
Action plan is ghost him.
Yeah, I think action plan is ghost him.
Like a gentle ghost.
Mm-hmm. A gentle ghost, a ghost that haunts the house a year and a half from now.
Because you know what? If you guys are meant to be later on down the line, then that's the bridge you'll cross later on down. But you guys broke up mutually for a reason, and so remember that. And he is probably missing his safety net in you a lot. So he's highly motivated to get back together with you. So don't, just remember all that stuff. Guys will not request a meeting with their ex out of curiosity or right? Am I right? They want to get back together with.
I actually did once request a meeting with an ex, like maybe 7 or 8 months after the fact, because I was having trouble with the breakup. And I think there was a part of me that really just wanted to, I didn't want to have like that meeting happen in an uncontrolled circumstance. I wanted to know what was going to happen, understand that it might be tough. I had no interest in getting back together with her, but it was really just for like closure on my end. And it was fine, but honestly, I could have done without it. Like it was fine, but I didn't need it. Eventually, I kind of learned in the moment, like, oh, I don't really need to be doing this. So
right, and it comes at a high cost of potentially damaging.
If you bump into him, like, oh, sorry, I got busy. But it like, and also like, get coffee. Don't get together with drinks.
Yeah.
Right.
And it sounds like your ex too. If he didn't hang on to you, then he's like a little milk toasty. Yeah. Jane, I'm so sorry. We have to go, but I love you. Thank you. I hope that we sort of helped you. Did we help you at all?
I hope so. I mean, I think she knows
definitely.
what to do, right?
I think I maybe wanted to hear you guys tell me to ghost him because I think that makes it a lot easier.
Cool. Yeah, no,
Good.
You have at least 3 voices saying
it's not
ghost is all right.
it's not as much fun in like the moment. It's always fun to have these dramatic elements in life that happen, but ultimately for the marathon, it doesn't always work out the best.
Thank you, Jane.
Thanks,
Thank
Jane.
you guys.
Have a
Thank
great
you guys
day.
so much. I love you all.
Love you too. Love you too, Jane. I love it that she said that she loves us. I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for love.
Should we
okay.
wrap it up?
Yes, we're. Thank you so much, Tim.
This has been
for
really
being
fun,
here.
guys. Thanks.
So Veep Sunday nights.
Oh yeah, Veep Sunday nights, 10:30. But you can probably
Do you
also
want
watch
to hang
it.
out for a bit? Do you have anything to do?
I gotta go. I have kids.
Well,
I gotta
this
go
guy
deal with
sits
about those
to your
things.
right, right? You guys are in we're in a
Crews is
movie
here, by the way.
together called Draft Day. It's
Oh,
Terry
we were,
Crews
yeah.
just joined us.
So I guess is that a tease for the next week?
Exactly.
1 week from now, you will hear what happens moments after now.
Exactly.
With Terry Crews. Crews.
Yeah.
Yeah, Veep. Yeah, 10:30. It's sweary. Everybody's awful, and HBO Go. Email me. I'll give you my HBO Go
To be
password.
president for sure. I want Jonah. Right? No, it has to be because that's the commentary.
It's not out of the realm of possibility with our
'cause-
current one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like let's elevate the. I don't want to judge.
dumbest?
I don't want to judge
Yeah,
your character.
You're the velvet touch.
Yeah, but
All right.
yeah.
Well,
All right.
follow us on Unqualified, all social media. Thank you so much.
I have to go urinate.
Okay, go urinate. Good night.
Bye.